Good evening and happy Thanksgiving. I have recovered from my tryptophan coma, and I am here right now on Midnight's Edge After Dark. With me, as always, is the very lovely and talented Mr. Tom Connors.
I love it when you notice my skin.
Yes, it's a healthy shade of pale, isn't it?
Very, very pale, yes.
Yes, you guys, stay out of the moon, Tom, please.
I stay out of the sun and moon as much as possible. I'm Irish, man. I don't tan. I burn. Even in the wintertime, man.
There's that old Woody Allen line, I don't tan, I stroke. But anyway, I am your narrator supreme, Mr. Rob Robot Shlomo from Shabby Road Studios. And with us is special guest, Mr. Matt Wies. How you doing, Matt?
Doing good, recovering from my tryptophan overdose as well.
Been a while, but we got some Ghostbuster news, so we'll get into that here shortly, but yeah.
We got some Ghostbusters, so let's jump right in on it. And Matt is our resident Ghostbusters expert, so right on time. What do you got for us?
Well, we found out that Paul Feig apparently is trying to say sorry for what he did with the Ghostbusters reboot. I don't know what to take from it, honestly, because it's just like, what are you telling us that we don't already know?
Do you have the quote?
This comes from Slash Film. It was a great regret in my life that the movie didn't do better, because I really loved it. It's not a perfect movie. None of my movies are perfect. I liked what we were doing with it. It was only supposed to be there to entertain people. I think it kind of hampered us a little bit because the movie became so much of a cause. I think for some of our audience, they were like, what the fuck? We don't want to go with a cause. We just want to watch a fucking movie.
He's kind of figuring it out.
But it seems to me like this is just from my personal focal point, where I feel like he's still diverting blame. He's not taking this as his own.
Oh yeah, he's not taking any blame at all. He's pretty much blaming everybody else for turning it into a cause.
Almost says he's sorry, but not really.
It's kind of like saying, I'm sorry people don't like it, but people still like it.
Or they should, or whatever. Yeah, it's...
I'm sorry you don't like it, but that's not my fault. That's what it is. That's what he's saying.
Paul Feig still thinks he has a bicycle, and then Dan Aykroyd puts training wheels back on it and tells him that he's not going to be allowed back on the block. And then you have Sony, if you go to their social media sites, they're pretty much disavowing the fact that this movie existed.
Let's go back a year and a half. All these people that were sticking up for the movie and saying you should go see it and it's a big cause, and the people that Paul championed and the people that his cast got behind and all that kind of shit, they didn't show up for the movie because that's not what they do.
It's social slacktivism. That's all it is. It's just, oh, I support this, but do I really want to spend $10 to $12 on this? Oh, of course not. Oh, screw that.
This is actually the same thing, and this is going to come in with another story actually we have in a little bit that happens with Marvel Comics. You have all these people who say, oh, this is so great, this is so important, this is so, we have to reflect society, representation, blah, 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 and then they don't commit, and they like you said, they said, well, do I want to spend $12 on this? And they don't show up, and then they hurt their own cause. They really do.
Well, it's because they've moved on to the next cause already.
Yeah. Do you guys remember a movie called PCU?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there was the group of people, they were called cause heads. That's who this appeals to. The cause heads. Today it's Ghostbusters. Tomorrow it's
Wonder Woman.
It's Wonder Woman. Then next week it's Star Trek Discovery. It'll be Captain Marvel when that's released. I'm not disparaging Captain Marvel. We don't know if that's going to be good or bad yet, but I'm saying that is the
No, you forgot about Mamma Mia 2 as well.
Oh, Lord.
Here we go again. Like, isn't that perfect? You can say it in any connotation you want. Mamma Mia 2, oh fuck, here we go again.
That's a better tagline.
But back to Ghostbusters. Like I said, I mean, there's an old saying in sport, and I don't know if it's in sports or business or whatever. Success has many fathers, but failure is an orphan.
Still go back to Paul Feig, where he's trying to say sorry. It's not coming across as that. And you gotta remember this. You had 3 times to say no to this production. You had 3. You asked for creative control and you got it. So this is no one's fault but your own. You co-wrote this. You directed this. You directed 4 hours of footage of this thing. And clearly you have gaps in this script because it's nothing but improv. I was a little excited about this. They're doing a 3D animation film. It's going to be a Ghostbuster story. But there's one thing I'm not sure about, and I'm putting judgment down now because I'm afraid of what it sounds like. They're doing a movie entirely in Ghost's perspective.
Now, wasn't this the movie that the whole little adventure with Slimer in the 2016 film was supposed to set up, if I'm not mistaken?
Yes.
So, as far as you know, is it still attached to that?
I don't think it is. It sounds more like in line of the 1984 Prime universe than the ATC universe. And the ATC universe right now, the only thing that it has life to is the IDW comic book that they forcibly pushed out. To do a ghost-only perspective Ghostbusters in name-only movie, I have no idea how that's going to do. Because to me, that sounds like just the Slimer cartoon from Slimer and the Real Ghostbusters.
I was just going to say that.
And that's not good.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What could it possibly be about? Hey, you know something? What? It really sucks being dead.
Yeah, let's go scare those people. That's fun.
Well, I've thrown in the towel. So,
Ladies and gentlemen, for the roundup.
Speaking of Ivan Reitman and Ghostbusters and all that kind of stuff, we're all pretty big Stripes fans.
this comes to us from Deadline, actually. CBS is developing a series based on the Ivan Reitman, Harold Ramis film Stripes. CBS has put in development Stripes, a single-camera comedy based on the 1981 Bill Murray, Harold Ramis film, Deadline has learned. The project hails from the Whitest Kids You Know trio, Trevor Moore, Sam Brown, and Zach Kreger, Sony Pictures TV, and CBS Television Studios. Ivan Reitman, who helmed the movie, is attached to direct and executive produce via his Montecito Picture Company. Like the film, the series adaptation penned by Moore, Brown, and Kreger focuses on a perennial rebellious outsider who finally finds his purpose in life when he joins the U.S. military and must unite a group of ragtag eccentrics. Moore, Brown, and Kreger executive produce with Julius Goldie Sharp and Tom Pollock, with Amy Karp and Peter Freed producing. Sony Pictures TV will produce in association with CBS Television. I love Stripes. I really do love Stripes. John Candy was also in it. John Larroquette was also in it.
Judge Reinhold.
Judge Reinhold was also in it. PJ Souls, actually. Sean Young. Really a fantastic movie. It feels like two separate movies when you watch it.
Yeah.
It almost seems like you have the comedy, the screwball comedy, then you have the action comedy.
Well, we're going to find out.
Speaking of movies, actually, I didn't tell you about this one. I'm a big fan of Community, okay? And there was that hashtag, actually, a while back, 6 seasons in a movie. Well, Dan Harmon is still trying to make the Community movie happen, and he has recruited Justin Lin to help him. This comes from Cinema Blend. 6 seasons in a movie. Originally a proclamation of how long the NBC series The Cape would last. It didn't. Community itself latched onto those words following its second season. Thanks to Yahoo rescuing the TV series it was canceled by NBC, it fulfilled the 6 seasons portion of the promise. The movie, however, has yet to surface, but Community creator Dan Harmon hasn't given up hope on bringing the Greendale gang into a theatrical setting. In fact, he's been talking with Fast and Furious 6 director Justin Lin, also Star Trek Beyond director Justin Lin, about bringing the Community movie to life. According to Harmon, I hope I'm not talking out of school by saying I'll get together with him every once in a while, or we'll have dinner. We're talking. We keep trying to figure out how to do this. It looks like the Community, there's still a flicker of hope for Community.
Dan Harmon is also a part of what show, Rob?
Rick and Morty. Yes. And for, like I said, for those of you who haven't seen Community, definitely watch it. It's on Hulu. You can also pick it up fairly affordably on DVD. You have to stick with it through season 1 and season 2. It hits its stride at season 3. Actually, we have some Marvel Comics news. We've been lamenting how Marvel Comics has fallen off, and it seems like their comics line has had the opposite effect of their movies. The movies are successful, and the comics are in the toilet. Former editor Jim Shooter had some choice words about that. According to Bleeding Cool, Jim Shooter says, I think they forgot what business they're in. I think there's some brilliant talent out there if you just flip through the books. The pictures are incredible. Sometimes they don't tell a story as well as they should. Sometimes they're actually designing pages to sell in places like this, a comic convention. and not really thinking about the best way to tell a story. The writing, I cannot account for much of the writing. You have brilliant guys like Mark Waid who will do something and it's great, but so much of the stuff is what they call decompressed storytelling. And he also went on to say about Marvel's decision to make Captain America a Nazi. Captain America a Nazi? Are you kidding me? Jack Kirby is rolling in his grave. Joe Scheinman is going to rise up out of his grave and kill those people. That was so wrong because that was not anything like the original intent of the creators. Jim Shooter actually has some very, very choice words about Marvel Comics. And actually, he continues, this is actually a very telling quote from him. Comics have more in common with a single malt scotch, yummy, than they do with other kinds of publishing because it's a relationship. It's a relationship marketing business. When I was a kid, I couldn't wait to see what happened to Spider-Man next month. I didn't give a damn if the cover was foil embossed because it wasn't. It's all about them loving Spider-Man, the character of Spider-Man, wanting to know what's going on with Spider-Man. If they miss an issue and they don't care, you lost. So, a lot of people don't like Jim Shooter who are in the biz. He was a very tough taskmaster. He demanded a lot from his writers and creative people. But you know something? In the 80s, Marvel had its best years under Jim Shooter. You can't deny the results. Marvel got so far away from the storytelling aspect, and that's the thing. Marvel relied on cheap gimmicks and PR stunts, and they strayed too far away from storytelling. Storytelling is what sells these books.
These characters worked for 75 plus years for a fucking reason. Don't fuck with that. You can update the world around them. That's how it works. And somebody said the other day, why is Christopher Reeve such the gold standard? He's not even relevant, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, he is, because he understood the character. And even though those movies may not have aged well around him, he still...
The character's still there.
Exactly. You could take that Superman, and yeah, you could tweak a few things, of course, but you could still take that Superman and plop him into nowadays, and it would work because Christopher Reeve understood how that character worked. He understood that Clark was Superman's reflection on what he saw in the best of humanity. He saw us as frail, he saw us as clumsy, he saw us as well-meaning, but we make mistakes. That was the costume. Clark was the costume. Superman was who he was at all times. And when he's Superman, the only things that really bother him are just the fact that he can't do everything at once, really. Otherwise, he's not, that's the whole point. He's called Superman for a reason.
Sadly, speaking of coping with things, we lost a legend, actually. David Cassidy, singer, songwriter, musician. He has left us due to organ failure at age 67. He will be missed. But we never like to end on a down note. We like to end on an up note. So we're going to share some birthdays with you for this day, November 24th, 2017. Actress Katherine Heigl turns 38 years old today.
I thought you said we were going to do this on
an up note.
Last time I checked, nobody liked Katherine Heigl last I checked.
Is it mean-spirited to say that I was happy she died on Grey's Anatomy, or...
Oh. Well, anyway, I really don't have anything against her, so... Wrestler Beth Phoenix turns 36. That's a bit of an obscure name. Actor and comedian Billy Connolly turns 74. And Tom was telling me about a movie he starred in.
Of course, most of the people who are listening right now, if they know Billy Connolly, it's most likely from the Hobbit films, because he was in those. But he was an old school comedian. He was in a movie a couple years back that was really good. It's hard to find. It's called Man Who Sued God. It's hilarious. It's about this drunk, slacker, and all he's got in his life is his boat, and he loses his boat in a storm, and he goes to try and get the insurance money for it, but the insurance company won't give it to him because they say it's an act of God. So he takes him to court, and it becomes this whole thing about proving whether or not God exists. It's really poignant but hilarious comedy, and he's in it, and it's a great film. So if anybody knows how I can get my hands on that, let me know. I do have a region-free Blu-ray player.
Basketball legend Oscar Robertson, the Big O, turns 78.
Hey, he's from my neck of the woods. He was
that's right. Composer Scott Joplin was born on this day in 1868. Actress Lola Glaudini turns 45. Don't quite know who she is, but she's very attractive.
Sounds like an interesting name.
I like Lola Glaudini. And actor Colin Hanks, or as we'd like to call him, Tom Hanks Jr.
He's pretty good on his own. I got to give him credit.
Yeah, turns 39. And
he's been in tons of stuff.
Tons of stuff. And those are the birthdays, and that is the roundup. So,
I think that's the show.
So, as always, we'd like to remind everybody, if you enjoyed the show, to please click that subscribe button. Subscribe here and subscribe on the main channel.
And we hope you like this little bonus episode you got this week. And if you like bonuses, tell them where else they can get some bonuses, Rob.
Yes, and if you really like the show and like the bonuses, you can get more bonuses over at Patreon. Patrons will get all kinds of bonuses, early notifications for new mini documentaries and new videos. You'll get advanced sneak peeks at various videos that we put up. You got the Star Trek, the Trek Logs animation early. Wasn't that right, Tom?
They got the animation and the show early, actually, yes.
Oh, see that? See that? There you go. That's right. Yeah, right there. And you can also get lost episodes, bloopers, special, behind the scenes, making of the Edge videos, all kinds of great stuff. And if you don't have the means to support us through Patreon, please click the subscribe button and share this video with as many people as possible, because YouTube is being a bunch of bastards lately. So.
Speaking of which, that reminds me. Thank you, Rob. If you have had a comment that has been deleted from any of our videos lately, that is not us. YouTube is now randomly deleting comments, obviously due to words that are getting flagged for whatever reason. So just be aware, we are not doing it. We do not delete comments, and please don't be angry with us. We're not the ones doing it. We have a feeling we know why YouTube is doing it, but we're not going to get into it right now. We'll get into that later down the road.
Yes. And actually, if can I throw a shout out to another channel, actually?
Of course.
And okay, if you guys haven't checked him out, go.
It's the Playboy channel, right?
No, I wish it was. I wish that was still on the air. If you guys haven't checked him out, check out Dictor Van Doomcock's channel. He's got some great Star Trek Discovery and Orville videos. The man, he is on a mission, and that mission is to conquer the Earth, and he very well may well just do it.
And I bet every one of his videos gets demonetized with a name like that.
Probably. But Dictor Van Doomcock, like I said, he's trying to, according to his Patreon, he's trying to raise a robot army, and robot armies are expensive to maintain and build. So please check out his channel. Great stuff. So, like I said, throw a little love his way.
Can I throw something a little bit?
Sure.
Absolutely.
So I've been away for a while, and if anybody knows me, and anybody that doesn't know me, I started some trailer breakdowns over the summer. And I tore apart Jumanji, I tore apart Emoji Movie, and that put me back a little bit. And there was not enough Tylenol for me to get through that movie, Tom. There was not enough.
Well, have you never figured out that we're all about torture around here yet?
Well, I figured it out, but
that's why they got me doing the Trek Logs.
It's the plausible deniability.
Why do you think all I ever think about is brick walls, so that nobody finds out what my secret fear is, and Andre can't exploit it? See, that's the trick. Brick walls.
Brick after brick. Brick after brick. But I found two. I'm probably just gonna end up turning this into the Sony talk, because they're churning out more movies that I can't comprehend. Okay. We got Peter Rabbit coming up with James Corden, and this movie looks absolutely horrible. We've got James Corden voice acting again, because he did such a good job in Emoji Movie. We need to have him in the star titular role as Peter Rabbit.
Let's face it, this movie's made for soccer moms who watch all his karaoke videos.
And on deck, we have turned arcade game into a surely cinematic piece of dreck. Rampage with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
So yes, be on the lookout for Matt's trailer breakdowns coming up here real soon, along with other great content from us here at Midnight's Edge and Midnight's Edge After Dark. On behalf of Rob and myself, I want to thank you guys for joining us, and thank Matt for joining us as well. Hope you enjoyed this special Thanksgiving weekend extra bonus episode of Midnight's Edge After Dark podcast, and we'll see you Monday.